Welcome to Ebenezer. I'm Mary Sue Moses, Ebenezer's Dimensions Program Coordinator. I'm speaking to you from Shorewood Landing, one of Ebenezer's assisted living communities. In this short video, you'll meet a variety of Ebenezer employees from both assisted livings and care centers. They will address 10 common questions and concerns that often arise when people are searching for the right memory care community for their family member. First, let me introduce you to Dimensions. That's the name we give to Ebenezer's memory care program. It's a collection of 65 evidence-based best practices in dementia care. This diagram pictures Dimensions as a wheel with 5 spokes. The spokes represent the 5 areas that are the focus of our best practices: wellness, training, engagement, environment, and family. Every Ebenezer site is incorporating best practices into the routines and daily lives of our residents with dementia. The name Dimensions reminds us that each person is a many-faceted individual. When we design care for them, one size doesn't fit all. We connect with who that individual is right now. We celebrate and honor who they have been, and we support them wherever they are at in their dementia experience. Now let's get to some of those questions and concerns.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's disease?
The term dementia does not refer to one specific disease. Dementia is a very broad and general term. It's a syndrome. That means a collection of symptoms. These symptoms all relate to an abnormal decline in mental functioning. Dementia symptoms can significantly impact a person's ability to manage their daily life. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia, but there are well over 100 other types, including Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, and frontotemporal disorders. It's important for all of us involved in the care of persons with dementia to understand that dementia is not just about memory loss. With some types of dementia, memory loss is not always an issue. Dementia impacts thinking, judgment, impulse control, along with many other skills and abilities. But hang on, it's not helpful to only think about the losses and the deficits of dementia. It's essential to recognize what is still there.
Yeah, so I've noticed that a lot of family members will assume that when their loved one's been diagnosed with dementia that they're not able to make any of their own decisions anymore, and that's simply not the case. The best thing that a family member can do is to support their loved one with dementia to make the decisions that they're still able to make, especially in relation to healthcare. Family members should also recognize that people with dementia have an innate need to have purpose and drive in life and retain the friendships that they've had and make new friendships and relationships as well.
At Ebenezer, we focus on the person's strengths, their retained skills, their sense of humor, their preferences, and their passions.
We remember that with dementia, the wholeness of a person's spirit remains intact. We focus on wellness.
It is essential to cultivate well-being for persons with dementia. We do this through person-centered and relationship-based care. The quality of life for our residents is dependent on the quality of relationships they have with our staff.
When you bring your loved one to Ebenezer, we appreciate that you know them better than we do. But with your help, we get to know them better and genuinely care for them.
Relationship is not something you can fake. We believe you have to truly care in order to promote the wellness of the person.
What kind of training does Ebenezer's staff get?
At Ebenezer, our training is in-person, hands-on, and participatory. We give all new employees, regardless of their job title, a thorough introduction to dementia care. My first career was in theater, and I use that background in my trainings. I often have people role play to physically or verbally practice new skills. I make regular visits to each site to provide additional staff training. Every month, I send out a hot topic training to all of our sites. These are short trainings that we use regularly in stand-up meetings. They focus in on specific issues that can arise with dementia. See if you can talk to the person at a time that's convenient for them. I also give training several times a year to our Dimensions champions. Each site chooses a champion who gets this specialized instruction. Champions spread new learnings and coach others in effective interactions. The kind of training Ebenezer offers is much more effective than attempting to learn about dementia from a computer.
How does Ebenezer deal with people with dementia when they have so-called behaviors?
Well, the word behaviors isn't really that helpful. It encourages us to assume that the person is behaving badly on purpose. And in reality, they're trying to communicate something. So they're trying to let us know that something isn't going well or isn't working for them. And here at Ebenezer, we do our best to accept the challenges that dementia presents.
What if a resident does present a challenge?
When a challenge does arise, we work to discover the need behind whatever the resident is expressing. Staff members are trained to validate the feelings that the resident has, to de-escalate residents who are in distress, and to practice approaches that prevent upsets from escalating. It's really up to all of us to respond with creativity and caring.
What else does Ebenezer do that helps people with dementia?
As dementia progresses, sometimes the people lose the ability to initiate things that once made them happy, things that gave them a sense of accomplishment or even gave them comfort. That's why engagement is such a critical part in the excellence of dementia care.
Ebenezer has a strong emphasis on lifelong learning, creative arts activities, and providing activities that are meaningful and supportive for each resident. It's also important to involve residents in the normal activities of daily life, to create activities around what individuals have always been interested in, and to expose them to new experiences.
Sometimes when I'm touring families in our Dimensions neighborhood, they observe some of our residents who are further along the dementia journey than their loved one is.
You know, I'm not so sure my mom's gonna fit in here. She's not like that yet.
It is important for us to understand there are a lot of differences in how people with dementia manifest their needs. It is not unusual for people with dementia to sometimes show frustration or increased anxiety. We ask our family members to be accepting of people with different stages than their loved ones and to understand that we will care for and accept their loved ones with compassion as their dementia progresses. My experience often is that friendship develops easily between residents. Many find companion with whom they love to walk, converse, share meals, and hold hands.
Are residents allowed to just walk into another resident's room?
Families are sometimes uncomfortable if they notice residents doing this. Some people with dementia have a need to wander and explore. Doors are sometimes left unlocked from time to time. Like all human beings, people with dementia can be curious. So a resident entering a room that is not their own may happen. If you ever see anything in our communities that worries you, please remain calm and let our staff know your particular concerns.
So the doors to our secured memory care community are locked for our residents' safety. In order for a visitor to gain access, you either have a card reader or a code, and when you're entering and exiting the memory care, we just want you to be mindful that the residents might enjoy venturing the community and to not make it as easy for them to exit the floor. This is Mavis. She and I are going to demonstrate what could happen if you're not careful. If the residents are standing near the door when you come through, they might be at risk for leaving the unit. We ask everyone visiting to be mindful when entering or leaving. Hello. Hello. Instead, you might want to greet them like a long-lost friend in order to redirect them. As you walk through the door, make sure you are not making it easy for someone to leave. Oh, hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm okay.
Come on with me. Let's go get a cup of coffee. Contact a staff member if you should need assistance.
Don't things get lost a lot in a memory care community?
Yes, things do get lost in memory care unit because some residents take their belongings and walk with them everywhere, and then they place them where they sit and leave them there. And then another resident can take them and misplace them, and we have to find them.
It's good to label the clothing and don't leave anything valuable in their room.
Sometimes family members bring rings that less expensive or similar to the original, and residents don't mind.
If resident loses things like purse or anything else, we have something similar around, so we can replace them every time they lose something.
How long will it take my family member to settle in?
New surroundings, new routine, new people, that can be upsetting for anyone, with or without dementia. It can take up to 3 to 4 weeks for your loved one to settle into a new environment. It could be less, it could be more. It's a process for both the person and their family to adjust. Many times it's not as difficult as what people expect. It's the structure and routine provided in our communities that can be a great relief to everyone involved.
At Ebenezer, we do not argue with or correct our residents with dementia. We meet them where they're at. We also offer at our community's family education events and caregiver support groups to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Typically, Ebenezer caregiver support groups meet once or twice a month and allow care partners to ask many questions, but more importantly, to really share their experiences with one another. We offer spiritual support to our families and have chaplains available at many of our sites.
Once a person has moved in, is there a best time to visit?
You are welcome and encouraged to visit whenever it works for you. Later in the day can sometimes be a more challenging time for persons with dementia, so you might want to keep that in mind. Generally, people with dementia will respond better to visiting with animals and small children in the morning. But overall, a calm environment is fundamental to the well-being of persons with dementia.
At our community, we use calming aromatherapy scents throughout the day and stimulating scents at the beginning of meals. Our residents love it.
We do encourage family and friends to attend activities with their loved one when they visit. That can really help people feel more comfortable in their new routine.
What should we bring or not bring when we moved our loved one in?
For the safety of the resident that's moving into memory care, it's important that you do not bring pots, pans, kitchen items, sharp objects. It's important to keep in mind that they're unfamiliar with the space, and what you want to create is a familiar space. So you want to be mindful of items that they can relate to, and you want to make sure that those items are exactly the same way they were in their prior place of stay. And it's also important for you to note that if you bring too much, it can cause a sense of the resident being overwhelmed. So little in this case is more for them.
Thank you for watching and considering or choosing Ebenezer. If you should have any questions, do not hesitate to contact the Sales and Outreach Director at whichever site you are in contact with. Thanks again.